So we just talked about this UX1 pump in a very recent video. I'll leave a link to it if you want to go back and take a look at a little bit more details on it. But we've installed these universal modules before in the past. One on the El Camino, I believe it was. I think we also did one on the Chevelle. I can't remember what videos we did. This one's a little bit more unique. I think we talked about some of the features of this product on the other video, but if not, as we do the install, we'll talk about it. But we do need to do some modification to this factory tank to get it to work, to get that module down in there. But very easy, very simple. We'll walk through that here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and do the install of the UX1 into this tank. I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you the tank install in the truck. There's probably plenty of videos on here. I got the tank from LMC Truck. I do believe that they have videos on their website of how to install it, but I'll show you how to figure out a placement for that, and then we'll show how to cut it and fit it in there. Nice thing about this module is they give you a really well detailed, full color, step-by-step instructions. I think it's 22 pages long of how to install this thing. So you gotta love that. We'll definitely be using that because there are some unique things on how the pump and the whole assembly fits into the tank. But first, what we need to do is I need to figure out exactly where we're gonna mount this thing. Just give you a quick rundown of how these universal modules work. We talked about in the other video, but I want to talk about it more specifically. That way you don't have to go watch 3 other videos to do this. Essentially what this does is it turns a factory non-EFI or non-pump-in tank into one where we can submerge the pump down into the tank. Pump is down here. That way we can drop the tank or the pump down into the tank, and now we can submerge that in there, hook up fuel lines, power, vent, tube, everything's normal at that point. But what you've got to do is figure out where the pump goes. Now, you know, if you think about it and go, well, that's a pretty good spot right there. We could just put it there. I got a big wide open space, should be good. Well, yes and no. You have to take into consideration the sending unit for the fuel level. Now on this one here, this is the old outlet tube for it. We're not going to use that. We're just going to plug this up. But the way this goes with the level sending lantern and the sock, those all orientate that way. So we don't want to drill a hole here because we're going to get too close to that sending unit, and I don't want to disrupt that. I don't want to put it over here in this corner. That's the filler neck for the inlet of the fuel. So I'd like to keep it a little bit away from that. So really, the logical place to put that is right here, and I think that's where the pump is going to live, is right there. So let me follow the instructions. I will show you a little bit of it as we go along. I'm not going to show you all the details, but I'll at least show you all the key features of this because the way this installs is pretty cool. Couple of things on this operation here is where people seem to absolutely lose their mind and not quite understand what's going on with it. It's understandable, but it's really not as difficult as you think it is. 3.5-inch hole saw as per the instructions, and you just cut it out and make a hole. Obviously dress it, make sure there's no sharp edges on there, just makes the installation a little bit easier. Couple of things here to keep in mind when you're drilling this, and it's not like this is very thick metal. I think it's 18 gauge maybe. It's not that thin, or it's not that thick. One thing to keep in mind with it is when you are starting the hole into the 3.5-inch hole, that pilot hole, if you're on a very critical spot on this, if you're in a difficult area, if you're in a spot where you know you're in multiple layers and edges. I'll show you some pictures here of stuff that's got some kind of waves and dips in it. We're really fortunate on this GMC tank that it's flat because it'll seal up really nice as well. But if you're on a surface that's got some contours to it, making sure that you don't walk that bit through there, the center around, and make sure you stay where you want to be at for the hole is kind of an important one. So just a little tip on those. I've done quite a few of these over the years now. They're always kind of fun because it makes it easy. The other side of this that people seem to kind of freak out about is all of these shavings. Now, this is a brand new tank. I would highly recommend that you do this on a brand new tank, but you can do this on an older factory tank as well too. Just make sure all of the fuel is out of there. You've given it plenty of time to evaporate and get out of there. You don't want any spark near a fuel tank, obviously. So a couple of days of letting it completely air out is a good thing. And then once you're done with it, it's not like we're bolting this assembly in here and forgetting about it. Take a vacuum, shop vac, turn the tank upside down, and you'll get all the shavings out of there. It's not that big of a deal. So let me get all that cleaned up, and then I'll show you the next step here of installing the module. Wanted to show this to you really quickly. Though how this goes together is you've got these two halves, and what we're going to do is we're going to place the little hat in here. We're going to drill holes, and then what this is, he's going to feed these in from the bottom side, hold them up, and then we'll tighten down and assemble the hat assembly on here, and then it stays permanently mounted. It doesn't come off of there. Absolutely love that. So obviously we'll have the gasket in between there. But the really cool thing about that is the whole pump assembly now comes in and out of here. You don't have to disassemble or take this out of there. It's kind of a nice deal. So I don't know that we'll talk about that or show that to you here as we're going through it. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get these holes drilled out, get this installed, and yeah, the instructions are pretty clear on how it all goes together, but I kind of like that. It's a unique option in that, and I like the thoughtfulness behind that. Makes it cool to just install that piece once, and then the pump assembly comes in and out however many times you need to. Now this one's already cut and ready to drop in there, but the two things you need to be concerned about based on the materials that they give you in the kit is making sure you get the tube here that helps set the depth of the overall length of the assembly, and the depth or the tube length here to make sure the pump and the sock is down at the base of the bucket here, so you can draw fuel from the bucket here. Now there's one thing to consider when you're making this cut here to set the overall depth, and that's to make sure that this bucket doesn't sit exactly flush at the bottom of the tank. You want the bucket to be off just a little bit off the base of the tank, but you don't want it too far off, because if you do, where the fuel comes on the inlet side here, as the fuel goes down, you want to take as much advantage of much fuel in the tank as possible. So having it as close to the bottom as possible but not touching the tank is where the sweet spot where you want to be. I can't remember if we talked about it yet, but the hose here, this thing that helps set the depth of it, is also the return for the fuel that the regulator and the carburetor doesn't use, that comes back to the system, or fuel injection, doesn't matter. This is the return, and that tube is what goes through there. It goes hollow, it goes down into the bucket, and then it helps keep the bucket full of fuel. So that's what we're doing, is we're trying to set the overall depth of the system. And so the way to do that here is I went ahead and broke all this down, attached just the tube here, and that's what's going to help us determine what the length of that tube needs to be. Now there is a whole bunch of different ways you can do this. Here is what I found to be the easiest. First, go ahead and strip everything down other than the tube in its original length and the bucket. Go ahead and tighten the assembly down so it doesn't move, it's fixed. You want the tube to be about 1/2 inch off of the bottom of the bucket. You want, as the return comes in here, you don't want to be completely up against the bottom. You want a free flow of fuel from the tube into the bucket. You don't want to restrict that. So once you have that locked down, then you can go ahead and start looking at the initial depth of this. Now, here's the hard part about this. There is not universal depths of each tank. The GMC tank is going to be totally different in the depth that the Chevelle is, so don't ask what the depth is. Don't ask what the, what I cut it to lengthwise. It is going to be different for every application, so go ahead and just do this on your own. Every tank is going to be different. So now we got the assembly set. We're just going to go ahead and drop it down in here, and we're going to take our initial measurement. Now remember, we want the bucket to be off the bottom of the tank here, so we're going to have to take that in consideration when we make this measurement. You don't want to cut this too much and drop this assembly down so far that now you're, an inch or 2 inches with the bucket off the bottom of the tank. You're going to have to be very careful here. So it's one of those, that age-old adage, measure 100 times, cut once. I would highly suggest doing that. Go ahead and take this initial measurement here. So we're going to measure from where the bottom of the seat is here to the underside of the hat and take that measurement. We are about 7 1/4 inches, it looks like. If you cut 7 1/4 inches off of here, you're not going to get it right. So you got to kind of take some things into consideration here. Now let's go ahead and take an overall depth of the tank. And when I say overall, I mean we are going right to the bottom of the tank, right to the bottom edge of the install here on the lip. And we're about 11, we're going to call it 11 1/4, because what we want to do, again, we don't want the bucket to be completely down on the bottom of the tank, but we know if we're 11 1/4 here and we want about 1/4 inch between the bottom of the tank and the bottom of the bucket, then we know that that dimension is going to be about 11 inches total for that assembly. So now that we've got the bucket off of here, we know that our total installed height on this total unit is going to be about 11 inches, correct? So we'll take about 1/4 inch off there, all right? So if we take 1/4 inch off of there, I made that mark right there. The right way to do this is to not cut and potentially take too much off. Again, I would highly suggest making a couple of different cuts here. That way you don't screw this thing up. So let's go ahead and cut this at the 12-inch mark, and then we will go ahead and reinstall the bucket, and then we'll take that measurement again between the hat and the mounting assembly, and we'll see how it measures out. Okay, I have it cut, dressed a little bit, and then reassembled, and now we're going to take a look at it and see where it is. Now it should be, well, we're going to find out, about 1 inch or so off the bottom of the tank. There we go. So we are bottomed out on the bottom of the tank, and we know that we didn't take too much off. That's what we're trying to avoid here. I don't want you to get too overzealous. You can do the math and figure this out on your own, but I'd rather do this in multiple cuts than screw it up and get the depth incorrect. The good news is if you do cut too much off the tube, all you've got to do is adjust it off the bottom of the bucket enough. The only thing you need to be concerned about is really that the pump is at the bottom of the bucket and that the bucket is about that 1/4 inch off the bottom of the tank. That's all we're worried about. So we've achieved that here. We haven't cut too much off, and we are about 3/4 inch. Now, you can take another 3/4 inch off of the tube and see if this does it, and it probably will, but again, we're gonna be cautious here. I'm gonna take this out, and I'm gonna take about 1/2 inch off the tube and see if we can get a little closer. Okay, we got it all assembled again. Now we should be really, really close to our installed height here. Should be just off the top of the hat, just a hair. Yep. So now from here, again, there's easier ways of doing this. I get it. I understand that. If as long as you're at 11 inches at the fully installed height that we were looking for, with a little bit, that 1/4 inch off the bottom of the tank, you're good to go. We know now that we are just short of that, and with that fully assembled, We're about 11 and a half, just shy of 11 and a half. So we know we need to take just a touch more, about that ½ inch off, so we can make sure the installed height's correct. The tube is all the way down in the bucket with just a little bit off the bottom, about 1/4 inch, and we want 1/4 inch off the bottom of the tank. We are so close to it. But the key thing is we didn't overcut this and really hurt ourselves here. We've got good depth in it. So let's go ahead and make our final cut on this thing and we should be good to go. Okay, I've made the cut going back together. One thing I need to make mention here too is if you do screw this up, you do cut it too short, you got a little crazy with it, you didn't really spend a lot of time doing the math on it. The good news is this is just a hollow stainless tube. 3/8 I believe it is on the OD, maybe a little bit smaller than that, I can't recall. I'll put the dimension on the screen here, but probably McMaster Carr. I don't think you'll be able to buy it like Home Depot or Lowe's or anything like that. But as long as you can make a 37-degree flare, you can seal up against that AN fitting, no problem. So if you do screw this up, don't get too freaked out about it. I don't think Deatschwerks sells these separately. They're probably going to need to for folks that get a little crazy and maybe cut it a little bit too much, or if you come out of this tank and you go into something a little bit deeper and you need more depth in it. But anyway, we'll talk to them about doing that. But yeah, if you can make a 37-degree flare, I think we did an Eastwood tool a few years ago. It doesn't matter, but if you can do that, then just get the right diameter tube and you can make your own if you screw this up. So let's get this put together and we'll test, see how she fits. Okay, we should be good to go. Now, how do you test that? Unless you throw a camera down there, like I could put the GoPro down there and try it out so you can see it in there with some light or whatever. But really the easiest thing to do is go steal some Play-Doh from your kid or go to Walmart or something and put a piece of thick Play-Doh on the bottom here, and then as you put that in there, press the whole assembly down, remove it. Hopefully the Play-Doh sticks to it and doesn't leave it in the tank, but then you can see just how far off the bottom of the tank you are. But I know based on the math that we are good to go. And if we look at our overall installed height here, we are right at that 11-inch mark that we talked about. So again, that's a little bit of a backwards way to do it. Again, I don't want somebody to screw this up based on something that I did or told them. So I knew what that installed height was going to be. We measured it and figured that out. We knew we were going to be about 1/4 inch off the tank if we were at a total of 11 inches. But just take it slow, do it easy. It's not that big of a deal. I think total amount of time I've got invested in doing that is about 10 minutes. So just a couple of cuts, dress the tube, put it back together, and you're good to go. Eventually you'll figure out the right length on the tube, and then just a matter of getting her set down in there and lined up, and you will be good to go. Now, one little detail here. These screws on the outside, go ahead and set them in, but I would wait to lock them down until you get the tank in, and then you can figure out the configuration that's best for the outlet and the return line on the top side. So anyway, pretty simple. You don't want that bottom of that basket to be pinned right up against the bottom of the tank, just a little bit off the bottom, and yeah, you'll be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get this kind of set in here, get the screws in there, not lock them down, and then we can work on getting the tank in the truck.